So hello again, and welcome back to the workshop. So that neck now is shaped, and I'm very pleased with the profile of that. So I'm going to turn my attention now to some various bits and pieces on the body. The first thing I want to do is, one, improve the comfort when it's sitting against me. You know, at the moment there's a square edge there, and also I want to deal with this square edge here, put a kind of chamfer on it. So those are the first couple of things I'm going to do. Make it more comfortable for the player. So let's see how we get on, shall we? So the first thing I'm going to do is put a radius around this edge, about an 8mm radius. And of course, if I was sensible, and of course if you've watched my videos, we've established that clearly I'm not sensible, but if I were sensible, I'll be using a radius router bit on that. But I always worry about the grain tearing out with that kind of thing, so I'm going to do that by hand. So I don't know if you can see it. So what I've done here is I've marked a line either side to give me a rough guide, and I'm going to start shaping that with a spoke shave. See how I get on with that, and then maybe go over to the rasps. And in order to make sure that this radius is consistent, I've got this really high-tech piece of equipment that I've been developing. Here it is. It's called a cardboard template. Don't tell anyone. Right, so obviously I'll be checking that radius all the way around as I'm working. Yeah, so get cracking, shall we? And therapeutic, so happy to do that really. And then of course, once I'm almost there, that will all be sanded so it blends in nicely. So I've got that kind of 8mm or so radius going all the way around the edges there, and yeah, very pleased with the way it looks. Obviously it will have a final clean-up once I've stopped all the sort of practical work on the base, but I am very pleased now the way it sits there, much more comfortable than just that sharp edge. So now I'm going to tackle the front. As I say, I'm going to put a chamfer across here, and the leading edges on around the top of the edge, around the top of the body. I'm just going to put a much more gentle radius, maybe 3mm or so, just to take that sharp edge off. But what I don't want to do is kind of lose the crispness of the shape of the front when you look at it. So yeah, do that front part now. So I'm going to treat this really the way I would one of my flat top instruments, one of my acoustic instruments. I'm just going to go around with a cabinet scraper, put a kind of a 45-degree bevel on that edge, and then just round it off. So as I say, it's just a gentle softness of that edge. Yeah, that's what it needs. That feels really nice. Right, so I've softened that edge and pleased with the way that's turned out. And now this is where I'm going to put the chamfer for my arm, or the player's arm. And I think I'm going to start off using a plane and just try to plane that corner off. See how we get on. Right, testing time. Oh, yeah, spot on. That's lovely, that is. surprising how little wood you have to take off for that to be really comfortable. No, so I'm pleased with that. On to the next stage. So this is one of the ferrules or bushes, which is going to go in the back of the body to anchor the string. So what I've done is worked out where the bridge is going to go, taped it down with some double-sided tape. So I'll drill through the fixing holes first so I can screw the bridge down, and then I can drill through these other holes here for the strings, and that will show me on the back where I've got to drill for the bushes. So yeah, quite a bit of drilling really. So I've drilled the fixing holes for the bridge and the holes for the strings through the body, and on the other side you can see the holes for the ferrules, the bushes. To be honest, they're really tight fit, so I'm not going to put them in now because I want to get the instrument set up, get it playing, and then take it apart and finish it. So obviously I won't be able to get these little chaps back out again. Yeah, so I'm going to put the bridge on, and then that's going to give me a couple of datum lines to line everything up, and I can drill the fixing holes to put the pickup in place. So it's all kind of getting exciting now. Pickups on, bridges on, tuners are on, so I'm just preparing the nut now, and then once I've got that in place and cut the slots, can get some strings on and yeah, get the first real idea of what she's going to play like. But at the moment, I must admit, I'm very happy. Right, so we're just doing the slots now for the nut, and I'm only doing them roughly at this stage. The nut will go on, and then I'll start the whole adjustment process with the nut on. I can adjust the action at the bridge, which is fairly straightforward obviously, get it right at the bridge and then come back to the nut and adjust the slots and keep going backwards and forwards until it's spot on. So yeah, so that's me for the foreseeable. Well, as you can see, I now have a set of strings on the bass. I've got it all set up and it's playing really nice. I mean, I'm really very excited about it, if I'm honest. I'm very pleased also about the bridge, the way that's turned out. I mean, when you're doing your design work and you're drawing, you're working out dimensions, you're building the thing, everything's okay in theory, but until you've actually got a set of strings on, you've got it up to tension, you've adjusted the action, etc., you're never 100% sure and confident that everything's going to work. And yeah, it was a great relief to find that it does. So I'm really kind of dead chuffed with the way all of this has worked out. This little bowl of spaghetti here, I've been experimenting with the wiring on this one. I wanted to try different values of capacitors, so I think I found one which gives me the kind of range that I want. I've also been looking at a switch for the humbucker, and I've decided that I'm going to stick with what I normally do, which is have the pickup in either humbucker or single coil mode. Again, that seems to give me the best kind of range. So having this kind of curvy shape, it's really difficult to actually sit down with a piece of paper and design the pick guard. So this seems to be the most sensible thing to do. A piece of cardboard and actually physically draw it on there and then use this as a template. So yeah, so that's what you caught me doing. So I'm using my old purfling cutter just to try to scribe a line parallel to that edge, and then obviously I can draw it in with a marker or something afterwards. But yeah, so far it seems to be working reasonably well. if not very well in fact. So there's the template. What am I going to make the pick guard out of, I hear you ask? Well, as you know, I like lots of beautiful tone woods, but I am also partial, between you and me, to a piece of mock tortoise shell plastic. I think it really gives it that vintage vibe that I'm after. So yeah, I'm going to be cutting it out of a piece of this. Well, I don't normally like peeling off a protective cover off the plastic before I'm ready to fit things down, but I've had to do it in this case to check the fit of the pick guard, because it's so complicated. You know, the edge of the fretboard parallel to the body around this chrome plate around the pickup, but no, I'm quite happy with that. So I can drill the holes now to fix it down, and yeah, that's almost done. So there's the last piece of the puzzle, the truss rod cover. Well, my friends, there we have it. I think all of the bits and pieces that I needed to make, I've made. They all fit. The base works. So yeah, I think what I can confidently do now is remove all of the hardware, give it a good clean up, and start the finishing process. I must admit, I'm getting a bit excited and a bit eager. I want to get my hands on this and start playing it. Anyway, as always, many thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Hope you found it of interest, and yes, I should be seeing you soon. So you take care. Cheers.